Man Hour. You already know. It's live. It's raw. It's going down. Like this.
I'm going around and letting everybody know that they welcome to the show. It's the littest thing you ever seen, you already know. Let me introduce you to your host of the hour. It be Mike and Mike. Yeah, it's the Man Hour. Got the hottest plays, all the breaking news. Every rumor, every trade, every breaking bruise. Tighten knuckle screws. Yeah, it's going down. Have you saying what the fuck and never watered down? It's going down. I'll be rolling up. And if you buy it or you sell it, then you made the cut. Watch me flip it back. I can double up. I got sriracha for that ass, I'ma burn it up. Gotta check the rules, but know that it be fair and foul. Rep blow the whistle, coach throw the towel. We can do this on the field or outside the lines. It's the Man Hour though, now we going live.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckcountry here with the Man Hour. Head over to MikeandMikeManHour.com. Pick yourself up some merchandise to be highly appreciated. You got hoodies, beanies, and t-shirts over there as well. Tonight's show is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy as well. Brandon Combs will give us some information on that later in the show, but ThriveFantasy.com is where you can pick that stuff up. Speaking of Brandon, welcome to the show, Brandon. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. What is going on? I was excited before the show. We're sitting there talking to Zen, the future left tackle of the Chicago Bears. Man, I am pumped.
He is not going to Chicago because by then the Kansas City Chiefs will need some offensive alignment, and if Zen wants to win a Super Bowl, he knows damn well where he wants to go. I mean, if you want to lose 12 games a year, go to Chicago.
He'll get to block for Ian Book.
No, he won't. He'll be hurt and retired by that point.
Oh.
But nonetheless, guys, we do have a special guest lineup for you. Zen Michalski from Floyd Central High School, a Ohio State commit. This kid is a 4-star, second-ranked player overall in the state of Indiana, and 208 overall per 24/7 Sports in the recruiting system. So without further ado, welcome.
What's up?
Without further ado, welcome Zen to the show. What's up, Zen?
Doing great. What's up?
Oh, you know, man, just living the dream over here. Brandon, what were you saying before you so rudely interrupted me?
Zen, how old are you?
I'm 17.
You're 17, and you're 6'6.5". Jesus Christ! I have to get on a 7-foot ladder to be 6'6.5".
That's tough.
So Brandon is the type of person that when he lays down, he's actually taller. So he is a certified midget, like over there. So, but
it's the Irish in me.
But Zen, I mean, you are a four-star recruit coming out of the state of like Indiana, going to Ohio State. First things first, man. Like, how does that feel? Like, how does it feel to be going to the big house in less than a month, almost now, man?
It's very surreal. It still doesn't feel real. I can't believe I'm going to be leaving in like a month and a half to go move in. And I'm just really grateful for all of it. I never thought it would ever happen. So it's just a really cool blessing, really.
Well, why don't you believe it would never happen? Because I came to you your sophomore year. I'm like, hey, you can play Division I football if you put on some weight. Come on, man. I've been telling you this for 3 years.
I know. That's what's crazy is that like you, Coach Smith, and Coach Polk, and I remember Becky said something about it, but I just never occurred to me that like I maybe thought like Indiana State or something like that, but I never like in a million years thought we ended up like going to Ohio State on a full like scholarship, and it's crazy still.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. Brandon, you got any questions for my man?
I do. So you're down in southern Indiana and really close to Louisville, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So you actually had offers from a lot of schools. I mean, Florida State was after you, Penn State was after you, and you had actually committed to Louisville, and then 5 months later decided Ohio State over the hometown Louisville. What led you to that decision? Was it the opportunity to go compete for a national title, or what was the ultimate, thing that swayed you?
Well, there are really a lot of things. I kind of, before I had committed, I thought that was like Louisville felt like the perfect spot for me. But after like getting more offers and stuff and just kind of seeing all the options, just what's best for me and my family, and that national, like competing for a national championship would be great. And I have a dream to go play in the NFL someday, and like the best way for me to accomplish that is to go be the best I can possibly be, and I want to go play against the best and practice against the best every day. So I feel like being in that environment will just push me to the as good as I can possibly be.
Well, I got to
Yes.
tell you, man, as a Notre Dame guy myself, I love Notre Dame. I love watching Notre Dame football. Never smart enough to go to Notre Dame. I was never good at football enough to play at Notre Dame. But I'm going to be rooting for you and against you at the same time for the next 4 years. I'll tell you that much.
Thank you. I'll take it.
So Zen, like one of the biggest questions that like I have for you is like early in your sophomore year, you were like what, maybe a $180 soaking wet, and like now you're pushing 260, right? Like you set a goal to put on X amount of weight. How did you achieve that goal? Like, and there's no major offers just like out there yet. What drove you to be the best you can be so far?
Well, sophomore year was a really big thing for me because Coach Hugh, Coach Brian, Coach Smith, and Polk had all told me that if I wanted to play, and I'd need to play offensive line, and I need to put weight on. So that off season, I just worked a lot to get, just eat, and I wanted to. Well, mainly the thing that was driving me the whole time was just like I want to play. Like I love football. I want to be on the field. I don't want to be on JV as a junior. So I got up to like 240 for that season and played and had a blast. And I didn't think that I thought I had a very average season, but in that off season when my film got out, I started getting a lot of offers, and then that's just more motivation on top of that. So after our regional game last year, I was around 217 or 215, and then this off season just quarantine mainly helped me a lot. I got all the way up to 288 through the off season, so like 70 pounds almost that I gained. And then right now I'm 285. So I don't know. It's kind of just love the process really, and then the reward just comes with it.
Right. And like just to make this clear, like it is not a sloppy 288. I mean, like people they have like 60, 80 pounds on them, and it's just pure fat. Like Zen, you are a big human being. Like your arms are about the size of my thighs, and you worked your ass off in the weight room, and it definitely shows. Brandon.
So I want to know, and I've always wanted to know this, and I've never actually been able to talk to anybody who's actually, played at this level or going to play at this level. When you have a running back or a quarterback, you really want to see the running back always wants the ball. He always wants a run play call. The quarterback always wants a pass play called. As an offensive lineman, is there, would you rather have a run game or a pass game? What do you like to see called when you're on the field and you're on the line of scrimmage? Or do you not even care? You just want to block?
Oh, really? Well, I guess to answer that easily, I love ISO. I love running zone and ISO, and there's a lot of times that if you're on our sideline and we're like inside the 10 or the 5, I'd like turn to our sideline and try to hold up I'd hold up like 33 because that's our 33 ISO, and that I swear every time we run that's like 5 yards. I love that play. We ended up taking it out at the end of the year, but I think in New Albany, Winkers, our starting running back, had gotten hurt, so we had Andrew Spurgeon, one of our linebackers, at running back. And I think for the end of the whole third quarter, we just kept running 33 ISO like 14 times in a row, and we just marched down the field and scored twice, and then just the game was over from there.
All right. So another question here, real quick. Michael Buckheister was your coach, okay? Now, if he played at Kansas State, and from what I hear, he was actually pretty good. If he came crashing through that line of scrimmage, would he get past you?
I don't know. I've never seen Coach Buck in his prime before.
Zen is a great holder, so he would just his 15-inch mitts would just grab my jersey and rip me down, and I'll be game over.
I just jump off sides, Coach Buck.
Yeah, there you go. On 2, and he goes on 1 every time. But nonetheless, so Zen, what is your great? I mean, like this. I'm strictly talking about the recruiting process right now. What has been the highest point of your recruiting process, and what has been the lowest point of your recruiting process?
Probably the lowest point would be Shoot, I don't really know if there's been a lowest point yet. I haven't been anywhere where I've been like disappointed or unhappy with where I was at, but I guess the high point would be right now. I'm very excited and happy to be where I'm at, and um, I had a lot of offers that I haven't posted, but being committed, I've cut off all of their schools and stuff, and no, I guess this would be a high point for me.
That's
This
amazing. I
is-
mean, it sounds like it was a humbling experience.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's more something that's like I don't see how you could be sad, like or like just disappointed at all, or have a low when you know like are blessed with so many things that like other kids just dream of having. So it's like I don't know. I'm just happy all the time now with it.
Well, I can tell you from experience that that is the humbleness coming out of you, because there are players that that would be recruited to Alabama or like LSU and be like, no, this place sucks, yada yada yada, like and on and on and on and on, and they have this one school mind that they want to be a part of, in the school never calls, and they're upset up at the world, and it's really discouraging when people are like that. So what made you, like, what point did you say that I want to go to Ohio State?
Probably it was. I think like 5 minutes after I got the offer, we were in a big Zoom call with Coach Day and Coach Stud and like the whole staff, and there's introduced. Like I thought it was just going to be a quick like just like my family meet them and stuff, but it was a lot more than that. And my family loved the coaches. We've all kind of connected a lot, and after that, I was kind of just like I'm sold. I'm ready. I want to go here. So I think that's probably what it was.
All right, so anybody who knows me, if you've ever watched a show before, Zen, anybody who watches the show knows that when I get into arguments or debates with these guys, I like to play the what if game. So let's fast forward 4 years from now, okay? NFL draft's coming along. Who right now in the NFL is one quarterback that you would love to block for?
That's in the NFL right now, or will be in the
Yeah,
NFL.
in the
Um,
NFL right now.
Probably Baker Mayfield. A little controversial, but I love the Browns. My whole family's from Ohio, so I feel like that'd be a
Oh
really
boy.
cool thing. Yeah.
Okay. Oh
So
wow.
you said your whole family is from Ohio. Was that kind of like a tipping point to like really want to go play for a Buckeye?
Yeah, too. And I didn't mean to say whole, but it's like kind of like a good chunk of my family's over there.
Right,
But
right.
a lot of Indiana, Ohio. So it was just like a lot of my grandparents and stuff originate from Ohio, and they're big Buckeye fans, and it was kind of just kind of felt like I was coming home. I guess that makes any sense.
Right, yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
safe to say that your dream team would probably be the Cleveland Browns. If the Cleveland Browns call your name in the NFL draft, that would be the ultimate for you.
Oh yeah, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be
Wow.
ecstatic.
You might be the first person that's ever said that.
I might be, but
At
I'd
least out
probably.
loud anyway.
Yeah, I know. I know.
so you are totally writing off Cincinnati, huh? Like the Cincinnati
No,
Bengals
I do not want to
aren't.
play for the Bengals. Do not.
Come on, Joe Burrow is the future of the NFL,
Don't-
right?
Don't go to the Jets either. Do me a favor and do not go to the Jets and waste your
Oh,
career.
I don't. I
No,
do
I
not.
mean, Zen, if you get a chance to go to the NFL, you sign wherever
Yeah,
you can, kid. And
Take it. Yeah.
definitely get that bread 100%. So before we let you go, I do have one more question about your high school career. What was the highest moment of your high school career? Like, what was the most exciting time?
Most exciting time? Shoot, probably. That's a hard question. I had a ton of fun this year. Does it have to be just out of like the entire 4 years, or just this senior season?
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Shoot,
Most fun you had playing the game that you love.
probably the Elder game. Honestly, I know we were getting trashed on, but that was the funnest game we've ever had for me, at least.
One of my
Definitely.
greatest
So-
memories of you, Zen, was when you blocked that kid. They said, "quote blocking too hard." Like
Oh,
Combs. This was a
How do you
blindside
block
movie
too
thing.
hard?
No, no, seriously. Like he had this kid driving him out of the back of the end zone, and the ref looked at him, threw his flag, is like blocking too good.
Yeah. Hey, Zen, look, I'm telling you right now, especially at that age level. So I coached hockey. I coached hockey through high school, and I did a little bit in the junior leagues. And we had this kid come through, and I mean, he came through, and I said, "You're an NFL lineman. What are you doing on skates?" I mean, he was a big boy. He was probably like 6'3", about 240, just a big boy. But he would never hit anybody. So finally, one day, I was just like, "Dude, you've got to hit somebody." He's like, "Coach, every time I hit somebody, I get a penalty." I said, "Hit somebody." He comes through center ice. This guy's got the puck on his stick. He shoulder right to the chest. The kid looked like he just got hit by a Mack truck. Went down. Ref's arm went up, and the kid just stared at me all the way to the penalty box. So when you're bigger than everybody else, it just looks more violent than it really is. So don't ever take it personal.
That same game, I think that like they pulled the refs. Like, I didn't get ejected, but they like pulled me out of the game on the last drive, and I'm just like, why are you guys taking me out of the game? But I don't know.
It's because you get one more personal foul, you're ejected for a first half next week.
That's true. That's true.
But so Zen, thank you, man, for joining us. Enjoy your time at Ohio State. We will definitely have to link up, once you get settled there in Ohio State, and get your feet planted and stuff.
Hey,
like that.
Congratulations, man, for real. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Definitely enjoy the ride. And Zen, the biggest advice that I can give you is stay humble. Like, just enjoy the flow. Be willing to change. Just always say yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Of course.
And always come back to the man hour for us for interviews.
Oh yeah, I got you all.
All right, man. You have a great night, man.
You too. Bye.
All right, guys, that was Zen Michalski,
that was fun,
Ohio
man.
State commit, a 4-star recruit, second overall. I did not know that he was second overall in the state of Indiana. I thought he was a second lineman, but second overall player in the state of Indiana.
That's crazy, man. Like, when you think about all the kids that are playing high school football, especially in the state of Indiana, high school football in Indiana is just like it is in Texas. Don't let LeBlanc tell you any different. It's just like it is in California, and it's big. And to be the number 2 overall ranked player is absolutely phenomenal, especially as a lineman.
Yeah.
Especially as a lineman.
And 208 nationally. I mean, so he is
dude, that's
top 200.
Crazy.
I mean, it's just I'm really proud of Zen. I'm really humbled to get to know him and be involved in his high school football career over the last year. Yeah. The most down to earth. So this kid, like, he is so smart that he will, like, pick everything. Like, Coach, why do I got to do this? Coach, why do I got to do that? Like, Zen, I don't have that answer, man. Like, stop being so freaking smart.
Yeah.
Right.
We had a comment for Zen, and I missed it before he got off of there. But Trent Mason 49 chimed in and said he was the only kid that ever beat him in tug of war.
Yeah, so I do remember Trent. Shout out to Trent. So Trent was a senior Zen's sophomore year, and yeah, so that tells you how big and strong Zen.
That's crazy, man.
So, Brandon, let's go ahead and take a quick little break, man. On the other side of the break, guys, we are going to open it up to the crowd. And, I mean, Brandon's got a little rant to do, but we bringing some more TSS stuff over here and some shop talk. So stick here on the Man Hour, guys. Right after the break, we'll be right back. Man Hour After Dark. It is that time of night, guys. A little bit of shop talk. So if you guys have something you would like to discuss, let us know in the comments here. And as Junior comes across here, Junior, I'm not for sure what you're holding. Speaking of Mike, where is he holding Dak's hand? Mike is taking care of some business. He is actually holding Dak's ankle because it has not been yet set yet. But no. Mike is like the biggest Dak hater, but the biggest Dak supporter ever. Like it is absolutely ridiculous. Like how much
he doesn't even know who he likes. I mean, come on now, let's be real.
He still thinks Brett Favre is going to win the MVP this year.
Yeah, Brett Favre, and he's got whoever's winning. That's who he's a fan of.
Right. So Brandon, tell the people a little bit about Shop Talk.
So Shop Talk is basically for all the listeners. It's for what you guys want to talk about. You want to come at us with personal stuff. we'll talk personal stuff. If you want to talk cars, we'll talk cars. You want to talk fights, we'll talk fights. Whatever it is that you guys want to talk about, we will talk about. And so just hit us up in the comments section. You bring it up. You want to hear what our thoughts on it, we'll give it to you. So definitely start hitting it up on the chat line. But to start off Shop Talk, Mike Buckheister, you put up a thing today with Barry Bonds on Facebook. And Hall of Fame with the question mark. The Hall of Fame ballots came out. Everybody's like, oh, maybe he'll get in, maybe he won't. And I got into it with probably about 15 different freaking people, including one of my best friends, Bjorn, who don't believe that Barry Bonds belongs in the Hall of Fame. How in the hell can you look at Barry Bonds in his career and say he's not a Hall of Famer? And don't even talk to me about steroids. The steroid era was the steroid era. Baseball knew about the steroids. Baseball made billions of dollars off the steroids.
Facts.
And then they threw these guys under the bus when they got their hand caught in a cookie jar. And now the players are supposed to pay the price, but we let the commissioner, Bud Selig, who was the commissioner of the steroid era, he's in the Hall of Fame. We let guys like Ty Cobb, who used to drive out and shoot blacks on his off days, a known racist. We let guys in that are just bad people, and the Hall of Fame wants to say, oh, nope, you use steroids.
Yeah, so
give me a damn break.
I was also in some of the, I'm not much of a debater on Facebook. Like I will make people challenge their thoughts. I may not agree with them or disagree. I just want people to, challenge their thoughts. I'm like, say, why do you agree this way or the other? And there's one person in a trash talk group that we have I believe it was our our sports trash talk group. If you guys head over to facebook.com/manhour, click on join group. It is that group in there. But this guy said that nobody from the steroid era should be in the Hall of Fame. And I asked him why. And he came back and simply just said they are cheaters and bad people. Okay, how are they cheating if everybody does it?
First of all,
if everybody's doing it, is it really cheating? Come on now.
Steroids were banned in 1991, but it was a wink ban. It was one of those things where, yes, we're going to put a rule in place, but yes, we also know that it's still going on. But because it's a big deal, and it became a big deal because of the WWF and all of their wrestlers that were doing it and the stuff that was going on backdoors of that, and then it came out into baseball, and the way that baseball left in 1994 left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Stadiums weren't getting filled. They were losing a ton of money. It almost looked like baseball was dying. And then McGuire and Sosa happened, and baseball ate it up. And baseball knew what was going on. Sammy Sosa was my size when he came into the league. When he left the league, his forearms were the size of my face.
Well, people can say the same thing about Barry Bonds too. I mean, he came in $160 and left probably 230.
Right. The difference between Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire is that if you take the home run numbers away from Barry Bonds, he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right.
Still a first ballot Hall of Fame. This guy was the most feared hitter ever. This guy was a Gold Glove winner. He would win batting titles. He took walks. This guy, in one year, he had more on base. What I'm trying to say? He had more times on base than he had at bats. That's how many times he got intentionally walked. That's ridiculous.
Didn't he break 100 intentional walks that year or something like that?
200.
200. Yeah. It was
200.
Something ridiculous.
And he hit 70 home runs.
So what people fail to understand is that baseball players use the steroids to recover because baseball is a grueling season. 162 games plus. It is hard on your body, and to tell me that people from that era don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame is absolutely ridiculous.
And people come at me all the time. Barry Bonds, I don't care what you say, we can argue it because I will argue it to anybody listening right now wants to come on the show and debate me on this. Feel free because I will make you look silly. Barry Bonds is the greatest ball player of all time.
See, and the problem with
number
Barry
one
Bonds
greatest
is,
ball player of all time.
See, the problem with Barry Bonds is he was hitting home runs before he used steroids.
Yeah,
Well,
but he
sorry,
wanted to keep up with the pace of McGwire and Sosa.
I should say before he noticeably started using steroids. Like I should say, right? So,
But everybody was using. There's no way Cal
Right.
Ripken played all those games in a row and wasn't juicing, taking something.
I
There's
bet
no
you
way.
Ken Griffey Jr. was
Oh, absolutely.
juicing. Randy Johnson. You basically, if you were not in the major league base, like the reason why people weren't in the major leagues during that era was because they weren't juicing. Like let's be
People
honest.
say Ken Griffey wasn't juicing all the time. They're like, oh, Ken Griffey did it the right way. Really? Because as soon as they started testing, he put on about 30 pounds. Imagine that.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Whatever.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
Trent Mason chimes in and says DeAndre Hopkins thinks defensive pass interference calls should be yards for the receivers. And I saw this the other day, and he is incorrect because if you do that, not only do you open up Pandora's box, because then every time that you get a sack, you got to go back 5 yards. And so what is that? Does that give, if you're offsides, does that give the rusher 5 yards? Does it give the quarterback 5 yards? Like,
Right.
Where do you stop it? So it's just a ridiculous statement. I think if they catch the ball, if you still catch the ball and they call pass interference and your team takes the penalty, then sure, give you the yards then. If you caught the
first
ball.
things first, why is your team taking a because in the NFL, pass interference is a spot foul. If you catch
It's a
the ball,
spot foul.
you are
So
not gaining.
if you get
anything.
interfered with this, where you caught the ball, and you like say you get hit out of bounds right where you caught the ball, and they take I don't know what do they do? They decline it automatically.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is if you catch it, but it is not ruled a catch, right?
Right.
That's
Or what if
you're
I'm
trying to
running a hook route and you interfere with me on the, whatever, on the 15, but I come back and I catch it on the 14. They're taking the penalty and you're taking yards away from it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I can kind of see the point there, but I think the defensive pass interference call nowadays is complete bullshit anyways, because if you see some of these pass interference calls, they're absolutely ridiculous. Oh, he tugged on the jersey a little too hard.
That's just the refereeing, though. I mean, the refereeing is the same thing. It goes for all of the roughing the quarterback calls. Because I'm telling you right now, I saw 2 roughing the quarterback calls on Monday night that didn't get called because it was Nick Foles that was the quarterback. That if it was Drew Brees or Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes under center, both of those calls. That hit to the head was a flagrant hit to the head.
I don't think Patrick Mahomes would get those calls.
Well, no, because Patrick Mahomes would have been 30 yards downfield running the ball.
Right. But, speaking of Nick Foles, didn't he, break his hip or something? Like, he's out for the season, right?
They said, last I heard, I haven't seen anything today, but last I heard, Matt Nagy said it was better than they thought it was. So they think maybe it was a bruise and a strain.
Yeah. So they're saying, a hip pointer. So, but those hip pointers hurt, man. I've had a couple of those. But to make full circle here, back to Trent Mason's comment, I mean, no, they should not count for passing yards because then those yards would have to be added to the quarterback's passing yards too then right? So why don't you just chuck the ball up as far as you can every play and hope for a pass interference call?
Right.
I mean, it would definitely change the game 100% and stupid.
Brandon Combs Jr. chimes in and says, Hulk Hogan. What about Hulk Hogan, bud? You just want me to yell, brother, every 5 seconds?
Hell yeah, brother.
Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying, brother? Brother.
Speaking of brother. let's talk about Chip Cannon chimes in and says, "No one can look more silly than you in all that Bears gear, Combs."
Chip Cannon, nobody can look sillier than you with your freaking lame-ass profile pic that you don't even show who the hell you are or what the hell you look like. I'm starting to think that you're not even real and you're just somebody else who doesn't have the balls to come out and say what it is, so they use a fake profile.
And then Kip Cannon Jr. comes in and says, STFU, Dad. So For those you millennials that know what that means, Chip Cannon. So apparently there is some brother or some father-son love there. So we have
look, if that's what Chip Cannon looks like, that does not surprise me at all. That's got to be his brother-son cousin.
So I'm glad you brought up Hulk Hogan. So before we head to the break and talk some NFL pick'ems for Week 11, who was the greatest '90s wrestler of all time? Like, you're talking about Stone Cold, Undertaker. Who else was there? The Rock was in there.
Yeah, from the '90s. So I am a big, huge Shawn Michaels fan. I loved watching HBK. I loved watching that guy. Actually, to be honest, my 9-year-old son, his name is actually Shawn Michael Combs, because of Shawn Michaels. So
That's
yes,
cool. That's cool.
Shawn Michaels is my all-time favorite wrestler. So that's who I'm with.
Yeah, I was a big Stone Cold fan. Like, I love when he bring out the beers and right. I mean, that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So Chip Cannon Jr. I'm curious of what Facebook page you guys are on, because if you're on the TSS page, we are going to stop streaming to the TSS page starting next week. We're strictly be on the Man Hour Facebook page.
You guys got to get on
YouTube page. So guys, come on over to the YouTube page and chime in on there, because otherwise we're not going to see your comments anymore. So Brandon, let's go ahead and take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we got some NFL talk, man. Are you ready for the pick'ems this week?
I'm always ready.
Let's go. We'll be right back, guys, here on the Man Hour.
What is going on, guys? We are about to get into our pick'em stuff. Buck keeps taking himself off of the feed, so we lose the music there. So I had to add him back real quick. But at any rate, for those of you guys wondering where our picks are coming from, our picks are sponsored by Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy, you go to thrivefantasy.com and you use promo code MANHOUR when you sign up today, and you will receive an instant match bonus up to $50 on your first deposit of $20 or more. So you put in $20 or more, they will match you all the way up to $50. Download Thrive Fantasy on the App Store or Play Store, or by visiting their website, www.thrivefantasy.com. Sign up and hashtag PropUp today. All right, Buck. Where do you want to start?
Man, we definitely have to start with a Thursday night game. Like you probably have one of the biggest games of the Week 11 season. You have possible MVPs versing each other again. Arizona Cardinals take on the Seattle Seahawks, this time at Seattle. Obviously, Arizona Cardinals got the better of them last time they played, or just a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was Week 9 or Week 8 when they played last. But who do you have win this game, and why, Brandon?
So, man, I hate Thursday night games, and I say this all the time. I am going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. And to be honest with you, it's just because this is a rivalry game. This is an interdivision game. And I think that the Seahawks need this one more than the Cardinals do. So I really think the Seahawks are going to come out and they are going to get back on track. And they're going to start with a Thursday night win.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on this one. I do like the Seahawks simply because the Arizona Cardinals are on the road, and historically teams on the road on Thursday night games just play bad because, for one, they have to travel, right? So they get they get a day less of practice on the field. They're sleeping away from home. You know, they don't have the therapy that they need for their ankles, their hips, their backs, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and Russell Wilson is probably due for a good game. Like, we talked about this just a couple days ago, where he has 3+ interceptions in 3 of the last four games. He is bound to jump out of that slump. So I definitely do like the Seahawks in his game. And I look for DK Metcalf to really have a big game. I mean, 2 catches on 4 targets last week. He's not happy about that at all. He's been in Russell Wilson's ear. Give me the ball.
Do we get a repeat of that DK Metcalf tackle from behind? God, I hope so.
We shouldn't, because hopefully Russell Wilson isn't throwing a lot of interceptions this particular week. So
Yeah.
So we're both taking Seahawks when the Thursday night game. Moving on to the Sunday games, we do have the Eagles traveling to Cleveland, Zen's Cleveland Browns. Who do you got in this one, man?
I'm going with Cleveland. Cleveland's a better team. The NFC East is garbage, and Cleveland's coming off the bye week, and I think Cleveland is taking this one. Baker Mayfield's due for a big game. He just found out that Zen is going to be blocking for him in 4 years, so he's pumped. And so yeah, I'm going Cleveland here, and to be honest with you, I don't think it's close.
Yeah, this is a game that I'm kind of just taking a coin and flipping up in the air, because Cleveland, they are 6-3, right? But they are probably one of the worst 6-3 teams out there, and they're definitely not.
But they're not worse than that 3-4 or that 3-7-1 team that they're about to play.
True, but that 3-win team needs a win to control the NFC East. So yeah. I'm taking the Eagles on this one, simply because I'm not for sure the Cleveland Browns know who they are. Like, I still think they're trying to struggle there to find their identity, like, a little bit. Nick Chubb is back off of the IR, and
later, Chip, don't let the door hit you.
and we are starting to hear Carson Wentz, name get drugged through the mud, and I think he's pissed off. So I think Carson Wentz has a great game, and the Cleveland Browns they're struggling. They're struggling to find their identity. Are they a power team or are they a passing team?
Yeah, everybody says that, man. People kept saying they're struggling to find their identity. They've struggled their way to a 6-3 record. So
they also haven't played anybody there, though. Like, let's be honest,
they're not playing anybody this week.
The Eagles are the second best team in the NFC East.
That's not saying much.
Moving on to the next one. This is the game that I have circled, not because of the team that they're playing, because of the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. The Falcons travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Who do you got in this one?
Oh, man. So I am going with the Saints. And here's why I'm going with the Saints. Because Jameis Winston, baby. Jameis Winston is going to put up 45 points with this Saints offense. They are going to steamroll the Atlanta Falcons. He is going to go 4-0, and they're going to average at least 35 to 40 points a game under Jameis Winston, and Drew Brees is not getting his job back. The Saints, big.
I could see that, but I don't think it is going to be as lopsided as you think, because flashback to last year when Drew Brees went down with that thumb injury. He had thumb operation, was out for 3 to 4 weeks, or was it 5? I can't remember. It was 5 weeks, like, wasn't it? Because the
5 weeks.
He had an off week. They played 4 games. So that first week that Teddy Bridgewater played for the Saints, they had a very vanilla offense. It was very, very basic, but they didn't play a very good team. The Falcons are better. But the Falcons are a little bit better than the team that they played last year. And the Falcons, they are a great team through 3 quarters. The problem is they are not a fourth quarter team. They like to give away leads like the Detroit Lions do.
They are not a great team in any quarter.
I am picking the Saints, but it is not because of Jameson. It's because of that Saints defense.
It's Jameis.
It's Jameson.
It's not Jameson. Jameson's the guy that comments all the time.
Yeah, where's he at tonight? I missed that kid. But I'm picking the Saints because of that defense. I think that defense locks down the Falcons this week, and we're looking at about a 17-12 type of score.
Oh, no, sir. Jameis is going to light it up. You are wrong.
He will light it up that night, and he's going to get suspended for drug violation. Moving on to the next one, another Ohio team. Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Washington football team. Who do you got?
You ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
This is my game of the week. This is going to be the best game of this week. This is going to be a 23-20 type game. It's going to come down to the final play, and the Cincinnati Bengals are going to kick a field goal to win it. It's going to be tied 20-20. Look, Joe Burrows is doing good things in Cincinnati. They don't have a whole lot of weapons around him, but he's doing good things. He's going to get his third win of the season, and they are going to move to 3-6-1. And the Washington not Redskins anymore are going to be 2-8, and they will still only be a game out of first place.
And see, this is the biggest game that we are going to disagree on. Like I told you guys at the beginning of the year, if Alex Smith was the starting quarterback for the Washington football team, they'll be a playoff-bound team. This is his second week starting now. He has gotten his feet wet. He is getting his leg under him. See what I did there? He's getting his leg under him. Ha, 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 ha. But nonetheless, the Cincinnati is not ready for this Washington defense. Chase Young is a man among boys out there, and when he hit Matthew Stafford last week to basically lose a game for them, that lit a fire under the Washington team, and they are going to make a push for the postseason with this win over Cincinnati, and they are going to dominate this game. Dominate. 27-10 is the final score in this one.
No, sir. Are you out of your mind?
I'm not out of my mind. I speak facts.
He had to throw 55 times last week.
Good night,
If his leg doesn't fall off, his arm is.
That's fine. That's fine.
Alex Smith is not the guy who can throw 55 times a game. He is a game manager. He is a guy who needs to be able to get the lead early and have his defense stop you.
And they will.
He is a guy who only needs 17 points to win, and that's as much as he's going to give you, and he needs to be able to control the clock in the second half. That's Alex Smith.
I will take that 17 points, but I think the defense is going to score twice for him. So give him that 27 points. Moving on to the next one, the NFC North division champions Detroit Lions traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Who do you got?
Division.
Oh, is it too soon?
Oh my God, you are out of your mind. When are you going to give up on these Lions, man?
I'm not, man. I'm not.
All
they
right.
still have an opportunity to go 10-6.
All right. So the Lions and the Panthers in Carolina, no, they do not have CMC this week.
Yep.
And so I am going to go with your Lions. Lions are going to be 5-5. They're going to be tied with the Bears after this week. They're going to beat the Panthers. Something I'd say it's going to be one of those 17-13 type games.
Yeah, so this Panthers team is pretty scary. Like, I am not going to lie. I'm not going to front. I almost like the Panthers better without Christian McCaffrey on the field because they are not relying on him so much. They're pushing the ball down the field a little bit, yada, yada, yada. However, Teddy Bridgewater got hurt last week as well. I'm not for sure if he is playing this week or not, but he suffered a chest injury as well, much like what Drew Brees did. So with all that being said, I am taking the Detroit Lions this week. I think Adrian Peterson has a big
You
game.
better if you want them to go 10-6. They can only lose one more game.
That's fine. But nonetheless, Adrian Peterson goes off this week, 115 yards from the old AP. Matt Stafford throws for a couple touchdowns. The Lions win 35-10. It's a slacking. Give me the Lions.
So I should start Adrian Peterson in my fantasy?
If you want to win.
All right.
If you want to win.
If
Moving
I lose
on.
and it's because of Adrian Peterson, we're fighting.
That's fine. You lose anyways,
All right.
little 5'5" midget. Moving on to the next one, you had the Pittsburgh Steelers, undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Went toe-to-toe with the Packers last week, I should say. Who do you got in this one?
Steelers big. Look, the Steelers are 9-0. Nobody's giving Ben Roethlisberger any credit. Nobody's talking about him for MVP. The Steelers are going to go out and make a statement, and they're going to make an example out of the Jaguars, and they're going to be 10-0. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the best team in the NFL, hands down.
They're the second best team in the
They're
NFL.
the best team in the NFL. They're the best offensive team. They're the best defensive team, and the power rankings and Matt Benz are both I don't know, awful, because there is no team that has beaten them yet. They are the best team in the NFL.
Okay, you can say what you want, but I do think the Steelers are going to win this game because I listened to Mike Tomlin's press conference. I believe it was Tuesday, and that guy had me fired up, ready to run through a brick wall for him. Like, I love Mike Tomlin. This guy is a great coach. He's a great motivator, and people are talking about this game being a trap game, yada yada yada. After the Jaguars hung with the Packers, Mike Tomlin used that film. The Steelers are ready to roll. They are going to wallop the Jaguars. I don't care if Gardner Minshew starts or not. He's the worst starting quarterback in all of NFL when he is in there. Steelers win big. I'm talking real big. 45.
You better get off of Supas's boy, man. Supas will fight you over the stash.
Why are you guys so high on this kid? He is horrible.
I'm not high on him.
He is.
I like him because I like his swagger. I like the way he talks. I root for a guy like him because, to be honest with you, he's not very good. So I root for him to succeed because,
I would root for him to succeed if he wasn't such an antic off the field. Just wear some shorts that fit you. Stop wearing that freaking fanny pack or whatever. Like, come on, man. Just wear some jeans and a t-shirt like everybody else. Be more like Brett Favre, right?
Jesus.
Moving on to the next game here. Battle of the playoffs last year. Tennessee Titans traveled to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Who do you got?
This is going to be a good one. It's a battle of two teams that are really struggling right now. Man, I'm gonna go with the Titans here. I think that the Titans are a little bit better than the Ravens right now. The Ravens are really struggling to find themselves offensively.
Yeah.
This Titans defense is pretty good, and the Ravens defense is also pretty good. But I don't know. I think that the Tennessee Titans and King Henry will find a way to get this one done.
Yeah, and just to add to that Baltimore defense a little bit there, they did have a safety go down. His name is slipping my mind right now, but he is out for the remainder of the season. So that that defensive secondary got a little bit thinner. However, Ryan Tannehill is not the type of quarterback to really challenge the secondary too much. So I don't think that will hurt Baltimore too much this coming week. Moving down the field, moving down the rest of the season, yes, they will. I am going to take the Ravens this game. As hard as I've been on Lamar Jackson saying he is trash and like all this stuff, I think he has a good game. He has a MVP type of caliber type of game. Not throwing the ball by any means, rushing. He will rush for 3 touchdowns, kind of put the team on his back, and they win 21-17 on a late drive to beat the Titans.
Man, I don't know. I have no faith in Baltimore right now. I don't even have them in my top 10. It is going to be a great
game. It's going to be a good game to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those. I think it's going to be one of those good bad games to watch. I think it's just going to be one of those two struggling offenses going at it.
Right.
And it's going to be so bad that it's good,
Yeah, so moving on, speaking of so bad that it's good, you had the New England Patriots taking on the Houston Texans. Who you got in this one?
Well, I know Junior's active in the chat, and
come on,
he is a diehard Patriots fan. And that being said, this one is going to go to the Texans. The Texans are hungry. Deshaun Watson is hungry. The Patriots are not that good. They're just not. And so I'm going with the Houston Texans here.
Yep, Junior said it correct. On the road to the Patriots being 9-7, winning that AFC East division, they are going to beat the Houston Texans. It's going to be nasty. Cam Newton's going to look like an MVP like he did in, 2015 when he was MVP, right? 2016.
Deshaun Watson is going to look like what Cam Newton used to look like.
Injured? Oh, okay. No, okay. Patriots win this game and they win it soundly. 17-7 is that final score. Cam Newton rushes for a score and he throws for a score as well. And then it's kind of a defensive battle after that. The Patriots win and they
If the Patriots win, does JJ Watt quit?
JJ Watt doesn't quit. He has that motor in his body and just he
wants out so bad though.
Does he though, or are we just reading into it too much?
No, he wants out.
I mean, he did say because both of his brothers are playing in Pittsburgh, so he does want to go there. But moving on to the next one, we do have the Miami Dolphins traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos. Who do you got?
Dolphins all day.
Dolphins all day.
The Dolphins are for real. So look, I never thought that I'd say that this year. I really honestly never thought I'd say that ever. But the Dolphins are the real deal. And, it's funny because you look at ESPN.com, it tells you your players to watch. And
Right.
the first player to watch is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well, you better pan in on the sidelines a whole lot because that's where he'll be. So I'm taking Tua and the Dolphins to beat the Broncos. The Broncos are they're another team that's just not very good.
So with fans or without fans, Mile High Stadium is by far the hardest stadium to play because Miami Dolphins are going from sea level to mile high. That air is so thin up there. They're going to be sucking that oxygen mask a lot in there. It is going to be cold. I think it's supposed to snow even. And the Broncos, they're a good team when healthy, and they're starting to get healthy again.
Yeah.
Drew Lock is his fourth game back, I think, since his shoulder injury. The receiver core is starting to come back as well. So I am going to pick the Broncos in a nail biter, 1 to 2 point game. Let's say 24-23 is that final score because of the home field advantage. I think the Broncos have that home field advantage 100%.
Hey, you don't have to go to thrivefantasy.com to place your bets. You just place your bets with me so I can take all your money. Because your picks are garbage.
When I go 100% this week, you'll know why. Next game
No,
is
you won't.
Jets versus Chargers. Who do you got?
Come on, Chargers. Jets aren't winning the game this year. 0-16. Chargers. Moving
Do
on.
you remember last year when the Miami Dolphins tried to tank and they couldn't tank and they kept winning games? Like they won like 3 of their last 4 or 4 of their
That's
last
not
5
going
or
to be
something
the
like that.
Jets. It's not
You're
going to be the Jets.
That is not going to be the Jets. They are horrible right now, and I like the Chargers. Me being a Kansas City Chiefs fan, even I do like the Chargers moving forward. So let's move on to possibly the game of the week. You have the Packers traveling to Indy to take on the Colts. Who you got in this one?
Packers big. This is a Packers statement game. Packers go into Indy, and Aaron Rodgers and the boys put up a 40 burger on them, and the Colts don't score more than 23. So I got the Packers big.
I do think this is a statement game for the Packers since they did struggle against the Jaguars so much, but I don't think it is as lopsided as the score is going to indicate. I think the Colts are going to hang with them and battle them. It is going to be a very, very close game, but like you said, the score is going to be a little bit lopsided. 35-21 might be that score, but and like the Colts score a touchdown late to make it somewhat respectable, but it is going to be a lot closer than what the score will indicates. But I'm giving it to the Packers, and then we have the Cowboys traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Who do you got?
Vikings, man, they're clicking on all cylinders right now.
They are.
Kirk Cousins just got his first Monday night win. Dalvin Cook seems to rush for 150 yards every week. So look, I'm taking the Vikings right now. The Vikings finally look like that team that everybody was picking them to be before the season started. I would not be surprised if the Vikings are the second best team in this division at the end of the season, behind the Green Bay Packers. And a couple weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, we wouldn't have said that because the Bears were sitting at 5-0. So the Vikings look really, really good right now on both sides of the ball. So I'm going Vikings.
Yeah, they are clicking. Dalvin Cook is running the ball. I think he has like 10 touchdowns in the last 3 games or something ridiculous like that. Like he is being fantasy gold right now. Definitely putting that team on his back 100%. But the Vikings didn't win the
Don't
night
do
game.
it.
The Bears lost that game. Let's be flat out
Don't
honest
do it.
about that. And we saw what the Packers did versus the Jaguars. They just didn't show up. They're kind of overlooking them a little bit. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Minnesota Vikings.
Don't do it. Oh, my God.
Andy Dalton comes out, throws 3 touchdowns. He has cleared the concussion. I don't know if he's going to start, but if he does, 3 touchdowns through the air for the Red Rocket. Come
Buck,
on, man.
What is your lovely wife's name?
35-20.
Your wife's name is Cindy, correct?
Yeah.
All right, Cindy Buckheister, you are a lovely woman. I've seen photos of you on Facebook. Look, take this guy's wallet away, take his phone away. Do not let him put any money on any of these games because I want to see the two of you actually stay married. And if you let him bet on these picks, you're gonna end up divorced because this guy is going to make you go broke. So do not let him pick, and do not let him make bets. And
speaking of bets, this next game I'm putting all my money on it. Kansas City versus Las Vegas Raiders. Who do you got in this one?
Man, the Raiders beat them last time. Kansas City wants revenge.
Around the stadium.
Kansas City wants revenge. They don't want to fall too far behind the Steelers for that 1 seed. The Raiders have looked really, really good. Yeah. I'm going Raiders again. I'm going Raiders to pull off the upset. And not just because of you, Buck, and not just because I want to go against you, and I know you're picking your Chiefs, but the Raiders play Kansas City very tough, and they especially play them tough when they're at home. In Vegas, fans or no fans, is a tough place to win. So I'm going with Vegas here.
So Kansas City Chiefs right now are 8-1. I still think they're going to have 3 to 4 losses in this season. And looking forward, I am trying to pick and choose where their losses are going to come. Moving forward, they play the Raiders, Bucks, Broncos, Dolphins, Saints, and Falcons, and then Chargers to end out the season.
Yeah.
And like everything that you said, the Raiders played them tough. The Chiefs are pissed off because the Raiders took the victory lap around the stadium, yada, yada, yada. Andy Reid called them out, etc. But I'm with you on this one. I am taking the Raiders.
Wow.
I like the Raiders. Like I said earlier in the year, they're either going to be really good or really bad.
Now I don't feel so good about my pick.
They are looking really, really, really good. I am taking the Raiders. You can call it an upset if you want, simply because they're 8-1. But I don't think it is an upset because it is a division game, and the Chiefs already lost to them once this year. So yeah. I'm taking the Raiders in this game, and is
that a hex pick? Are you just picking them, hoping to jinx them?
Yes.
That's the first smart thing that's come out of your mouth all day.
But on the flip side, Patrick Mahomes does always play well against the Raiders too. So career number type game. So it is going to be a heck of a Sunday night game. But Monday night game, we do have the Rams. Many people saying smoke and mirrors. They traveled to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks. Who do you got?
Bucks. Tom Brady. Monday Night Football. Tampa's rolling. I got the Bucks. I don't think that the Rams are very good. I don't think they're as good as their record says that they are. They've beat a lot of the NFC East. So right. I'm taking the Bucks. I'm taking the Bucks and by like 2 or 3 scores.
So I still have the Bucks going 10-6 this year. They're sitting at 3 losses right now. They do play the Rams on Monday night. They play the Chiefs, Vikings, Falcons, Lions, and Falcons again. I think they'll lose to the Falcons. I think they'll lose to the Chiefs as well. And then I'm trying to figure out this last loss here, and I think it comes against the Rams. Yes, the Rams might be smoke and mirrors, but I think Jared Goff is tired of all this. Oh, you guys have four wins versus the NFC East, yada yada yada. Guys, the Rams just beat the Seahawks. That defense is clicking. The offense is starting to come back to its old form from a couple years ago. They beat the Bucks on Monday night.
It's like you said with the Vikings. Did the Vikings win that game or did the Bears lose it? Same thing with the Seahawks. The Rams didn't win that game as much as
the defense had
as much as Russell Wilson struggled. Because of Russell Wilson's struggle. Russell Wilson's been struggling for 3 straight weeks. They just caught him at the right time. That's all.
I would not be surprised if the Bucks drop 3 of their next 4 games. So they've lost to the Saints, they beat the Panthers, they're going to lose to the Rams, and then lose to the Chiefs. There's 3 of the 4 losses right there, and boom, that's the way it is.
Tom Brady doesn't lose to young quarterbacks.
Tom Brady also doesn't lose in Monday Night Football. If I believe he has only lost 3 games on Monday Night Football ever, if my stats are correct.
Tom Brady, Jared Goff. I'm gonna go with Tom Brady.
I'm going to take the struggling Bucks defense, or sorry, the Rams defense over the Bucks struggling defense right now. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm glad you brought up my wife because she told me a great joke earlier. Would you like to hear it?
Uh-oh.
What is the difference between estrogen and a hormone?
I don't know.
You cannot hear estrogen. But you can hear a hormone.
Oh, man, your wife is amazing.
Man Hour, guys. Head over to manhour.com. Pick up some merch, hats, beanies, all that good stuff. Over on the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Big shout out to Zen. Good luck at Ohio State. Any closing thoughts before we leave out, Coombs? Ow. Have a good night, guys.